This is the IR Turret Hack Pack by Crunch Labs. It's a remote control turret that you build and program yourself. What's cool about the Hack Pack is that they are designed to be hacked. Surprising, I know. So as awesome as the turret is, today I'm going to show you an example of a hack that is completely different. So for this build, you're going to need a couple of parts. Ping pong ball, some 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, 1/16 inch aluminum angle. You can usually find this at your hardware store. I had to get 8 feet of it because they didn't have any shorter lengths, but this stuff's pretty useful to have around anyways. And lastly, one of these HC SR04 ultrasonic distance sensors. Oh, and you'll also need a couple more jumpers to connect the sensor to the turret. So the sonar sensor is going to let us determine how close or far an object is in front of it. It does this by sending out a pulse of ultrasonic sound and then measuring the time it takes to reflect it off the object and back into the other sensor. This is similar to how bats use echolocation to fly around in the dark. First, you're going to want to take off this metal bracket on the turret and the servo, and set aside the screws because we'll need them later. Then you need to 3D print this small part I designed. You'll find the link below in the description. It's a file on Thingiverse and printables everywhere else. If you don't have a 3D printer, go and check out your local library or makerspace. A lot of libraries have 3D printers now and you can print things there. Next, you need to cut or get somebody to cut about 12 inches of your aluminum angle and file the edges off so that you can insert it into your 3D print. This is going to be a really snug fit and you're going to have to maybe hammer it or press it in. Next, you need to straighten these 4 pins on the back of your distance sensor. So you just take some needle nose pliers or something, bend them straight back, and then now you can insert it into your mount, and it should be a pretty snug fit, and these will stick out a little bit on this side. Now remember your servo screws from earlier? We're going to use those to mount the new mount on the turret. So on the back of the sensor you can see it says GND, which is ground, echo, trig, and VCC, which is power. And since we removed the servo, we now have a free power and ground and 1 I/O pin. So we're going to need another I/O to go into the actual breadboard. Ground to black, VCC to red. The echo pin we're going to put on the servo, this pin, and then finally we need one more. So the trigger pin, trig, we're going to put right into the breadboard on D2. So we can just poke it right through the paper here. So it should look something like that. So that's the assembly done. Now we just need to program the firmware so it can actually balance the ball. So I wrote this program and it doesn't require any other libraries to be downloaded on the Arduino IDE. It just uses this function, measure distance, to find the distance from the sensor, and then it does some fun PID stuff to determine the angle of the servo so that it knows what angle to put the servo at to keep the ball balanced. So you can download the code on my GitHub. I've got a GitHub for turrets and all the turret hacks that I'm doing, and there's going to be some other ones for the other hack packs. So I'm definitely going to be doing some other hacks there. So once you download the firmware from there, you can copy it into your favorite Arduino IDE, and then you hit upload. As long as everything compiles and it uploads properly, then you should have a balancing robot. Now, you may have to play with the settings a little bit. You may have to change the servo angle slightly depending on your setup. You can also change the position where it wants to bounce the ball. So in the program, there's a setting that is ball balance position. So if you want to put it further out, then it can try and balance it here. But as you can see, it has a pretty tough time. If you were to have a servo that's maybe a little bit tighter with the gearing, or a metal servo, you might be able to get it tuned a little bit better. And I haven't played with it too much. Oh, there it goes. So you can try and play around with some different things. There's some values in the code. Right now it's just a PD. There's no I term for the PID loop. So you can look in there and you can try and see if you can get it to balance any better than I have. So that is the first of many hacks that I'm going to be doing for the hack packs. You should definitely stick around. Also, this is my second channel, so this is more kind of off the cuff stuff. I have a main channel that is more kind of crazy builds.
Now you can put on any face you like.
This is terrifying. If you want to see me get into arguments with robot arms and weird stuff like that,
What is it?
you should go and check it out. Anyways, everyone, have a good one. I like when he headbutts it.